Born on the 30th of November 1874 at his family's ancestral home, Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, he would rise through the ranks of British aristocracy, not only serving in the army to the rank of major and a temporary promotion to lieutenant colonel, but he became a key figure in many aspects of politics. He is widely considered one of the 20th century's most significant figures, and I would hazard a guess that he is one of the most recognisable people the world has ever seen. His nickname, the British Bulldog, was first given to him by the Russians as a reference to his ferocity and focus. But in this video, I wanted to explore Winston Churchill behind the scenes. When he wasn't impressing the world with his speeches, carving his ideologies into Parliament, or shaping the outcome of the military, how did he like to fill his spare time? It is well known that he liked to write, and was even awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1953. Over the course of his life, he would write some 43 book-length titles, his first in 1898 about an uprising in India, and his last book, A History of the English-Speaking Peoples, between 1956 and 1958. Some examples of his books have become quite rare and sought after, commanding high prices today, if you were lucky enough to come across an original, that is. Churchill would not only use his mastery of the English language for books, war correspondence, speeches, journalism, and pamphlets. He even dabbled in the film industry. But writing was more of a job than a hobby, accounting for the majority of his income stream, of which he liked to spend much of. Almost 1.7 million a year in today's money. So when he wasn't awake until the early hours writing to sport his extremely lavish lifestyle, how would he unwind? He made the argument that one's hobbies should be entirely different to their work, and thus affording respite from whatever that may be, even going as far as saying that simply doing nothing does not suffice to re-energise a person's well-being. Something that would embody these entirely, although not his favourite hobby, bricklaying. He was set about building walls on his estate at Chartwell. The house itself was purchased as a surprise to his family, even his wife was unaware. The walls that he helped build now surround the garden. They feature a single-room cottage he constructed for his daughters Mary and Sarah. Sarah, being older, did not use it as much, resulting in it being known as the Mary Cot. His trowel skills resulted in him being offered membership of a building trade workers union, although the offer was revoked after some members became horrified that a Conservative politician may join them. He would not only practice at home, but at any opportunity that presented itself, one time laying a course of bricks at his daughter's World War II posting, much to her embarrassment but everyone else's delight, she remarked. Churchill loved animals, and not always the typical pets we would assume. He did have cats and dogs. His poodle once walking into a meeting at Downing Street prompting him to remark, "No, Rufus, I haven't found it necessary to ask you to join the wartime cabinet." Chartwell was abundant with life, from goldfish to farm animals, two of his favourites being pigs and horses. Churchill was in fact an excellent rider, participating in competitive polo into his 50s. Another one of his hobbies, something that stemmed not only from his upbringing but also his days in the cavalry. Although he had a passion for animals, he also liked to hunt them, the most common form being driven game shooting. He would often hunt pheasants and grouse in England, but even hunted larger game including rhinos in East Africa. Winston received invites from some of the most prestigious hunts in England, where he would gain a reputation as an excellent marksman. Hunting, however, was only part of this hobby. He also has a less commonly known collection of firearms. He collected dozens of guns over his life, from pistols and shotguns to submachine guns. By far his most relaxed pastime was watching movies. He had a room converted at Chartwell into a 30-seat cinema. He would spend many hours with guests and family watching a film. And now onto a pastime that saw one of the largest allocations of his time, painting. Taking it up in 1915 during a family holiday, he would create over 500 paintings. He would paint anything that took his fancy, generally landscapes, from sun-soaked scenes of Egypt to the interiors of houses. One need not travel to make a good painting, he would say. Painting is complete as a distraction. I know of nothing which, without exhausting the body more, entirely absorbs the mind. Like his books, his artwork today attracts high prices, sometimes hundreds of thousands of pounds apiece. He would not only sell his work, sometimes under the pseudonym Charles Marin, but he would gift them to friends and colleagues. The American President Franklin Roosevelt being one notable recipient. Churchill inspired many things while he was alive, and even after his passing. Dwight D. Eisenhower taking up painting because of him. I had a lot of fun since I took it up, in some miserable way, your hobby of painting.